Is that the man?
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you guys been, man? Long time no talking and stuff.
Yeah, long,
Yeah.
long time.
It's good to get the old crew back together.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. A lot of people were talking about you.
Yeah, I put out an AP, the goodbye AP video, and then just took a break for the week. Didn't want to even play anything. It had an exhausting month at work, so it was just like needed a week of just relax.
Yeah.
Is there any chance you bring Afterpulse back to the channel, or you're seriously done? Because sometimes, I've rage quit before and come back.
But
Like,
they were, pretty adamant about, please come back, type.
Really? So they know they need you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
This is some
they
spicy
were,
drama. We need John Scarce on this.
yeah,
We
they
need.
were, without giving out everything that's in the email, they were just like, big plans coming. We'd like to, have you, but
Because they know they don't have anybody.
yeah,
It's really
they
difficult
got,
to find people
they
to play
got,
your game.
so when Afterpulse came out, it was kind of like starting over. Just like when Chase has put his first video out on it, it was his words exactly, if I remember right, were, if you guys played Respawnables, you're gonna love this game because it's the same mechanics. You don't have to relearn anything, and that was exactly true. You go into the game, it was the same style of controls and better graphics, all skill based. No no nerf stuff, no OP stuff, and during the soft launch, it was a lot easier to get everything. The weapons, the grinding wasn't too bad. So we kind of got blinded by that and got hooked on the game. And then when the global launch came out, everything started to go downhill. It was such a chain of events. And they slowly started doing the same things that they did to Respawnable. They come out with OP stuff, then come out with nerf gear and nerf this, nerf that, come out with or nerf a weapon after everybody paid for it,
Mm-hmm.
and then a month later come out with an even more powerful weapon. And the tactics they would use are just so dirty. Just I could go on and on about things that they did, to trick people, and it got to the point where I just don't feel right about supporting it anymore. I mean, I
So
literally watched the game destroy two families, and
how?
obviously I wouldn't give out those names, but we had two players in A Nation that they ruined their lives personally and financially.
jeez.
Talk to me. Okay, I can understand the financially part because they're addicted to upgrading weapons and being the best. How personally? I'm curious
Like getting a divorce.
because of the amount because the amount of time they were playing.
Right, because of the time
Jeez,
needed for
what?
grinding and getting addicted to the casino gotcha scheme and
Oh, forget
You
that.
know,
Holy
so
crap,
yeah,
dude! Holy
which
crap!
sounds insane to us, but everybody's different and everybody has their demons.
That doesn't sound insane. That does not sound insane to me at all. And Chase Bros will absolutely agree with me on this. Like a lot of people have addictive personalities. I know I do. And if I don't watch myself,
I do too. I do
if I
too.
don't watch myself, I will put everything aside, my job, everything else for whether it be video games or anything else. Like I can see that
Right,
causing a divorce. It's I mean it's crazy to say, but yeah, if you don't watch yourself.
right. Yeah, right. You gotta once you know that about yourself, then you can try to put yourself in check ahead of time. But if this is one of your first experiences and finding that out about yourself, you're gonna be in trouble. And this is not the game that you want to find that out about yourself on.
So what ultimately was the deciding factor then? Was it the pay to win, or was it the community? What was the number one factor?
You know, the the nail in the coffin was the dirty tactic of not they nerfed a very powerful weapon, And yeah, and I think what they did was the right thing to do because it was ridiculously overpowered.
What was the weapon?
The CQB,
Okay.
the parrot, what we called it,
Okay.
And they did the right thing. It really was way overpowered. So, I don't disagree with the fact that they needed to nerf it, but they waited 6 months after they came out with it, made everybody chase it, and then, in October, they came out with a buffed version, an even more powerful version of it.
No way. When
Yeah.
everybody knew it needed a nerf, they buff it, knowing that more people are going to spend and
Right.
try to grind for it.
Right. So for 2 weeks, and I know somebody that spent $2,000 in that 2 weeks trying to get it.
No way.
Yeah. For 2 weeks, they put that out in October. After 2 weeks, they nerfed it after that.
That is so freaking shady. Oh my gosh, that pisses me off.
Is that just the dirtiest tactic?
Wow.
And if you wanted to nerf it, it should have been nerfed before October, but they buffed it for 2 weeks and then nerfed it.
They knew exactly.
That was the final
They
draw.
knew-
Everybody thinks, they nerfed the parrot, so YouDoneSon can't play without the parrot. That's why he had nothing to do with that. It's just that was the last draw. I'm like, all right, I just can't do this anymore. I cannot support this type of behavior.
They knew exactly what they were doing to maximize profit. Think about it. If all you're about is money, you're going to say, okay, I know the game's unbalanced, but I'm going to let this slide because it's bringing in a lot of revenue. And then once we've extracted all the money we can, then we'll balance the game again. Oh, that makes me pissed.
Oh, it was unbelievable. We were like speechless when that happened because everyone at A Nation was like, are you freaking kidding me? They buffed it. They buffed the most OP weapon ever for 2 weeks. Then after everybody chased it and got it, they nerfed it. It's like, no way. Unbelievable.
What I respect about YouDoneSon, this is very rare, so you got to listen to this. YouDoneSon, this was the game that got him big. He was basically in charge of Afterpulse Nation, everything. He was the man, dude. He was the representative of this game. And he was also partnered with Digital Legends. And because of his integrity, his honesty, he gave all that crap up, man. And I think that is incredible. There is very little people who could do the same thing that you did. I respect you for that.
It sucks because there was so much potential, and it just ruined.
What is the most you ever heard of a single player total dollars spent on the game?
And I didn't believe it until I saw the iTunes receipts, but I know one player that spent $16,000 on the game, another player that spent $11,000. I myself spent $1,800. And in my life, in my entire Respawnables career, I've spent $700 and some, and I have almost everything.
Jesus.
So
what does $11,000 on Afterpulse get you? Does that get you everything fully maxed? I hope.
No, it still doesn't, dude. That person still, is they're not spending now, but it's unbelievable.
So that was that individual's vice. That was their vice.
Yeah, because now not only is it pay to win, but it's you can only pay for a chance to win with the lottery of the crates. So if they come out with the next
highway robbery,
it is. So if they come out with the next big weapon that's super OP and you're gonna rule the game with it, so then you got these people that they're like, well, I gotta have it, so they'll keep gambling on the crates until they get it. Drop 100 here, another 100 here, another 100 here, another 100 here. It's like, golly.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of them send me personal messages in DM talking about, I can't believe I done this. My family is irate right now with me, and I'm like, dude, god damn, why?
It's the perfect recipe because people who are competitive, they get wrecked by a weapon. I have to have that right now. And
right.
The thing about credit cards, as soon as they rolled out credit cards, people started spending more money because it's not real. When you have $1 and you pass it across and you see it go away, you feel that. But when you put stuff on credit, or you literally just have to put in your password real quick, it's not real to you, and then you have to deal with the consequences later. Oh, I just feel so sick about that.
Yeah. And a lot of folks A lot of folks got taken by it, and it sucks. But
Would you say that Digital Legends feels Afterpulse has been a very successful game according to their expectations, or did it live up to what they were expecting? Did it exceed it, or did it not do as good as they thought it was going to do?
I think financially, I think it lived up to their expectations, but I don't think that they feel that they're done yet with Afterpulse. I don't think they plan on getting rid of the crate and the leveling up system. And I told them in my response, I said, I appreciate all you've done and your professionalism, throughout this partnership, but I can't come back unless the crates and the powering up system is gone,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're not going to get rid of that.
There's like
No,
one other
no,
game
that's their
that
gold
has.
mine.
There's one other game that has failed even more than Afterpulse. You wanna know what that game is?
What?
Brother in Arms 3.
Oh my gosh, I can speak to that because I played that game.
I've never tried that.
That game to unlock a weapon was literally hundreds just to level up one weapon, and it was just ridiculous.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
like the problem with the game was that it had so much potential, but they made it so pay to win that it wasn't even playable.
No, they
Jeez.
over monetized it, and it actually killed the game. Like once people realized how much it cost to even get one weapon, they were like, "Screw it."
Yeah, that's ridiculous,
Like-
I'm not always, the best promoter of respawnables, sometimes I'll talk smack about them in the videos or whatever, but at least in respawnables, if you want something, you just buy the damn thing, I will give them that
You
at
know what?
least. I mean,
I do. You
yeah,
have
it's
a
pay
good
to
point.
win like crazy, but at least if you want it, there's no lottery,
I absolutely agree. I mean, if you want to spend $20 or $25, you want to get the battle ram and BOP, and you're just going to use that weapon, I'm actually, that's fine. That's much better than what Afterpulse did. And you guys know, I called that out really early on, and that's the main reason why I stopped playing the game, because I could see the direction it was going. I didn't think it would get worse, but man, it got worse. Holy crap. I just didn't follow the game. I had no idea. I was curious what they were doing. So you telling me what you just said kind of astonishes me.
Well, the good thing about the last video I did was, at the very end of the video, I gave the instructions on how to get your refund for the last 90 days. And I know they felt it in the pocket, because we've been tallying up the numbers for all the refunds that everyone has been getting, and it's over $30,000 so far.
Wait a minute. How do you get a refund? And do you have to say something like, "Hey, the items I purchased aren't what was expected. Like I bought it and
exactly."
Oh, so because they changed it, Apple's able to contest that and say, okay, they purchased on the expectation of this, and now it's this, so that's not a valid purchase.
The bat and say, made many attempts to contact them, only getting automated responses. They refused to, initiate contact or respond. They performed a bait and switch. I purchased an item. They changed it after I purchased it. I'm requesting a refund based on this, tactic. And many people put the exact same thing that I typed in, and everybody, in AE Nation was blowing up. Got my refund back the next day, or got $300 back, $400 back. It kept totaling up, and it's over $30,000 now that's been refunded to everyone. So I know they felt it in the pocket.
You know what, man? That's amazing. And you taught them a lesson that they can't pull that crap, or else people are going to revolt, and they're going to lose a bunch of money, and players are going to leave. So hopefully they don't do that crap again.
They said that they learned a valuable lesson in that. That video, my last video alone, cost them $35,000. So far.
Jeez.
Probably a lot more from people that you haven't even talked to.
That's true.
That's the money
just
you know.
Folks that I know.
If that's what you know, then it's got to be triple to quadruple that. If that's what you know.
Yeah.
Probably, because I did get quite a few responses or comments on the video from folks that I don't even really know that were thanking me. They got their refund or whatever. I don't know how much it was, but.
YouDoneSon, what is it about Afterpulse that draws in an older audience who has money? Because I feel like Respawnables is not that way. There was some older people playing it who had money and jobs, but for the most part, I felt it was a younger audience. What is it about Afterpulse that it did bring in a lot of older guys?
I think it had more of the, like I think the graphics helped it out a lot, because Respawnables did seem And I don't play Respawnables very much at all. I mean, and I'll be 100% honest with you. It's normally the video that you see is about the only time I play it, But
That's about where I am too.
but I will occasionally pop in and mess around. But with Afterpulse, it felt more like like combat.
Yeah.
It wasn't as cartoonish, and
You know what else it was? It was the community that you built.
that's a big part of it too. I don't think a lot of us would have lasted this long if it weren't for all of us in the communities playing customs, having fun, laughing. We'd have a blast sometimes playing customs,
Yeah. Holy crap. This was, and Mob Crush, you guys just heard some awesome stuff. Like, that was good. That was amazing. I'm so glad that you came in. So, I guess the question is, going forward, because I have a love-hate relationship with Digital Legends, let's say Respawnables 2 comes out. Let's say Respawnables 2 comes out. Let's say the gameplay is amazing, and it's everything we've ever wanted as far as gameplay, but it has a leveling system. What do we do as content creators? What do we do as players at that time? Do we evaluate it then, or do we say now that we're never going to do that again?
Oh, well, my first video on it will be titled "Nope."
I'm gonna stand with you on that.
You can't support it, man. After I've just personally witnessed what it has done to people, there's absolutely no way that I will ever support any type of lottery system for weapons. Leveling up,
You know what we're gonna do? We're
I don't
gonna
know.
grab her.
I don't know, but it depends
Oh.
on how much of a freaking leveling up it is.
Right, right.
You know what we're gonna do?
I don't
We're gonna
like
grab her and
leveling up either.
march to the palace.
What's that, Red?
Go Red. What'd you say,
I
Red?
said we're gonna grab our muskets and run for the palace and be like, kill the king.
Yeah.
So let's just fast forward here. I just want you to picture this. Let's say Respawnables 2 comes out. I make a video. YouDoneSon makes a video. Rohit makes a video. Every big creator makes a video and says, we're not playing this game. We don't support this game. Don't download it. What does Digital Legends do then? Do they?
That might work.
What does Digital Legends do if every top creator says, screw you? Or my thought is they don't care, because where one creator dies, another one pops up. Somebody will see the value there. Hey, there's no competition. I can get views. And I think, I don't know. I think somebody would fill our places pretty quickly.
You got me wondering though. You got me wondering if we should make a warning video to game developers. Like, look, if you plan on implementing this gacha lottery system into games, we're not taking it. We're not playing it. We're not taking it, and we will put every effort we have into making sure no one else plays it.
Just put like a YouTube embargo.
kind
Just
of,
like if anyone uploads this type of video, we're gonna like
We're going to
immediately
blacklist
strike
you.
it down.
Yeah, we're going to blacklist it. I kind of did say those things,
did do
YouDoneSon, in
that.
my
You have
Respawnables
done
2
that
video.
before.
Yeah. I on my Respawnables 2 video, I warned them about that. I talked about the gacha system. I actually did 2 videos. The one video I did, which nobody ever saw, I announced the game, and then I just ranted about they better not make it a leveling gambling system. But I felt it was too harsh, so I actually redid it and just toned it down. But yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe when it's in beta, we do that. We just warn them. Or maybe we do it now. I don't know.
Well, they probably did get the message though, because I remember watching that video and I'm like, he's right. If they do this crap again, we can't let this go on, because it's crazy how much of an influence you can affect. If they say they came out with Respawnables 2 and had a crate system and a leveling up system, if you supported it and made videos on it and act like you're having fun and it's the next best thing, man, you'd have no idea of the damage that you'd be doing to people.
You know it's gonna be bad. This is Digital Legends we're talking about. I mean, all these kids are all hyped up for Respawnables 2, and I'm like, nope. I mean, we've learned from experience. I don't have high hopes for it at all.
No, the first month of it might be good before they come out with the nerf and OP stuff. But
yeah, I mean, starting maybe. Well, I mean, I guess technically, if you want to play the game, you should play it right at the beginning because then it's just going to get worse from there. But even starting, it's going to be worse than Respawnables 1 when it first started.
Yeah, and it really hurts me because the game brought a lot of really good guys together. I mean, for some reason, I don't know why, because I've played other games and the communities aren't near as strong as what we had. And also the quality of people playing were just good people. And I feel like I would like to see that happen again. And I'd like it to be Respawnables 2, but maybe that's just wishful thinking. Maybe that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I will say is the folks that you met through the years is really good. A lot of bad ones, Blitz forever, but a lot of great ones too, you know. So, I mean, I remember the very first time I saw Chase in a match. I was playing. I had my little blunderbuss. It was at the Rocket, and there was 2 people in the match named Chase, and they were teaming up. And I had never seen anybody team up before in my life. And we were in free-for-all. I'm like, I remember thinking, what the F are these guys doing? If you're gonna team, go to team. You know, what the heck? You know, I sat up in my chair. And I was like, what the heck? These guys are teamed up in free-for-all. What the heck are they doing? You know, this is unbelievable.
And you're probably thinking, how did they coordinate this? Because it's random, right?
Right. At that point, I'm like, well, I don't know how to counter it any other way than to change my name to Chase and try to look like them to see if I can.
Oh my gosh! I remember this. Now I did not have a YouTube channel. I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, correct?
No, you didn't.
That was pre-YouTube. That was just me and my brother playing for the love of the game.
Oh,
yeah. That was the first time I had ever seen anybody team together. I'm like, what the heck? You know, somebody had a howitzer, and I couldn't even get out of a doorway to look to see what the heck.
That was ChaseBros. That was so ChaseBros.
I had a blunderbuss, and I was just stuck. I'm like, well, I ain't doing nothing in this match. I think I ended up rage quitting. I'm like, I can't even touch these guys. This is bullcrap. You know? It was hilarious.
Funny is, that's like the first thing. Like the first game that we made up in Respawnables is trying to get people to team with us. And like I'd call my brother and be like, dude, I just got this guy to team with me. And like we started forming lists of people that we'd gotten to team with us. Like
okay, yeah, let me explain this. So the original idea was, okay, we had different names before. In fact, I wasn't even Chase. I don't remember what my first name was, but we said, okay, we're going to use the same name because we can double our efforts to get the Chase name out there. This is pre-YouTube. If I play in the evenings and ChaseBros plays in the afternoons, people will just be seeing this name all over the place. And then, but we'd have to talk to each other. We'd have to be like, hey, dude, I formed a relationship with XYZ player, and then he'd write it down so he knew when he played because it was the same name. We had to appear as the same person. So then he would do that. It was so freaking funny. Well, YouDoneSon, man, I just respect you so much as a person. Like we haven't talked as much because we both have busy lives, but we've paid attention to each other and watched what each of us has accomplished as far as the community and everything. And I'll always have the utmost respect for you and what you've accomplished.
I appreciate that, man. I've always enjoyed the Chase community and what you guys started, and where it's gone is just amazing, you know.